Good evening and welcome to Blueprint Explosive Exclusive. I'm Madhavdas G. Viewers, finally, after 108 days, an end to the Iran war is in sight. Both the US and Iran have agreed on a deal framework to end the war. The deal is expected to be signed on Friday in Switzerland. But like they say, it's not done until it's done. There are still 5 days to go. And then there is Israel. Now, officially, not too many details have been released. However, Donald Trump has announced the end of the American blockade of Iranian ports. He's claimed that the Strait of Hormuz will reopen on Friday after the peace agreement is signed in Switzerland. As per Iran, tentative deal ends fighting on all fronts, including in Lebanon. And world leaders have hailed the agreement. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has welcomed the understanding, calling it a step that could restore regional peace and stability. There is optimism around the world, but simultaneously there's uncertainty. However, if we look at the fact that it was Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif who announced a breakthrough deal between US and Iran, while he also thanked Saudi Arabia, Qatar and Turkey for their support in mediation efforts. For India, however, the situation remains different. For over 100 days now, Indian sailors have been caught in the Hormuz crisis and have been living through fear, uncertainty and a wait with no end in sight. Last week, 3 Indian crew members lost their lives after an oil tanker was hit, and then another Indian merchant officer died on a separate vessel. More than 500 Indian sailors are currently stuck at sea, with 329 crew members west of Hormuz and 233 sailors stuck in the Gulf of Oman. As families await their return, the opposition is now training its guns on the government, accusing it of a soft response and failing to protect Indian seafarers caught in the war zone. Listen in.
देखिए, सरकार बहुत कमजोरी दिखा रही है और ऐसा लग रहा है कि हम अमेरिका के सामने गुलाम हो गए। हमारे लोगों को मारा जाता है और हम अपने लोगों के लिए सवाल भी नहीं पूछ सकते। और अमेरिका बेशर्मी के साथ जो जवाब दे रहा है, उस जवाब के बाद भारत सरकार का जो रिएक्शन है वो बहुत ही निराशाजनक है।
It is very sad and unfortunate that 3 of our sailors die, and look at the shocking stand taken by the government of India, our government, such a soft approach. Now it is Rahul Gandhi who is pointing fingers. Why is the government not taking action on its own? But government is an utter failure. How long will we continue to subjugate like this under to Mr. President Trump and to US?
BJP, however, has rejected this claim, stating that the Indian government is strongly working towards the safety of Indian sailors and the Congress party should not mix diplomacy with domestic politics. Listen in.
भाई ऐसा है कि वहाँ पे जो हमारे लोग हैं उनको की सुरक्षा इम्पोर्टेंट है या जो है वो केवल करारा जवाब देना इम्पोर्टेंट है। हमें करारे तरीके से सुरक्षा उनकी इम्पोर्टेंट है। करारे जवाब की ज़रूरत नहीं होती कि आप जो है वो खाना पूर्ति करके करारा जवाब दे दिया और चुपचाप बैठ गए। मोदी सरकार जो है वो मजबूती के साथ भारत और भारत के लोगों की सुरक्षा के प्रति प्रतिबद्ध है और इसी का ये उदाहरण है।
Diplomacy and politics are 2 different fields and domains, but problem is that the Congress party brings local politics into the diplomacy also. Fact is that government of India has already called the concerned US authorities from Delhi and had already sent the message across and has expressed their concern on how the people were killed and how things have shaped up. So government of India is doing what is required and what is within the diplomatic means.
All right, let's take this across to our guest now. Joining us, Shaina NC spokesperson of the Shiv Sena is with us. We also have Arushi Sana, political analyst. We also have with us Dr. Akashdeep Muni, political analyst. And with us is Devan Sharma, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Let me start with you first. Devan Sharma, on a day when there's such a big announcement that has happened, we continue to see politics. Of course, issues of our sailors are very, very important. But, at some level or the other, you're continuing to question the government. What is the specific thing that you want the government to be doing?
Madhav, absolutely. And tonight the biggest question is not about the war. It's not even about the politics. It's about the future of India. It's about the stand of India. It's about how India is going to react to the people who have died. 3 sailors who have died. For 10 years, we were told that Mr. Modi has a special relationship with all the foreign countries. All are his best friends. And today, when our people are dying, he's not even speaking. 3 Indian sailors were killed in a US military strike near Oman, and Prime Minister has not even said a single word. What are we asking? What are we saying? We are saying protect our citizens. Our Prime Minister has...
But it's a fact, Devan, that the government has taken it up diplomatically with the United States, is it not? We have called the Charge d'Affaires, the Ministry of External Affairs has taken up this issue. It's not like the government has not done anything at this point of time, has it?
Madhav, all optics. We have seen Indian youngsters returning to India in handcuffs. बेड़ियां डाल के लाया गया था उन्हें. देखा होगा आपने planes में. What did the government do? Nothing. Again and again, US is doing things that is insulting India.
Okay. Shah Nancy, I'd like you to respond to that. He says that the US is undermining Indian interests. Indian sailors ended the day being killed at sea. It's something that is a very, very serious issue, and that this requires a more focused approach, not a soft approach as is being alleged by the opposition. Your response to that, Shah Nancy?
Madhav, firstly, India is just about the only country that has been able to maintain a balance. Even when it was between Russia, Ukraine, Israel, we were the only country that had a dialogue both ways. Now, yes, of course, the West Asia crisis is a huge, huge load on every economy, especially an economy like India, which is growing at the rate of 7.2%, as has been said by the World Bank. I mean, if you have oil prices, wheat exports, supply chains all hit is one part. Now coming to our Indian humans, that is, whether it is somebody on a ship or a citizen who is stuck, I mean, we have always showed that this is the era of a Buddha, where we should have dialogue and believe in peace and harmony, and as peacemakers, we have continued to have that dialogue. So who says that India is not serious? Who says that Prime Minister Modi is not serious? India also, I mean, even at the time of the Ukraine-Russia war, it is India who gave, you know, the kind of support that on a humanitarian aid, or whether it was just to ensure that we represent the 140 crore Indians that treat any global crisis for even our counterparts abroad. I think it's imperative for us to understand that if we were weak, there would be nobody even talking to us. Today, Prime Minister Modi has dialogued with the US, with Canada, with Australia, with other countries. He has made an entire impetus on Make in India, because in every challenge, he has tried to create an opportunity. And the government has been speaking about G20, at G20 on multiple
those are separate issues. I think let's focus on the current issues. One is, of course, the West Asia war and the impact it's had on India. I think that is a completely separate issue. But I will bring in Dr. Akashdeep Muni. I must ask you this. You just heard RP Singh of the BJP. You know, he specifically says one thing. He says at a time when there is a diplomatic issue, when there are international issues happening, why are we mixing up domestic politics with that? Is that the correct approach, is the question coming from the BJP? Dr. Muni.
Madhavdas G, 3 Indians, Aditya Sharma, Shivanand Chaurasi and Patlala Suresh, were killed in an attack on the vessel Setevelo by USA internationally. MEA spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal ji confirmed US attacks on Indian crews. Unfortunately, till now, not a single public demand for apology from US, no recall of ambassador, no sanction or threats, no military positioning, all this while our PM is quiet. 562 seafarers are still stuck at Hormuz. Leaders from Brazil and Chile spoke against US attacks on Iran. Our PM can at least speak against killing of Indians by US military. While in contrast, our enemy country, Pakistan, positioned as a mediator, announcing the US-Iran deal, boosting its image, gained diplomatic revival and narrative edge over India, while India stayed sidelined. I don't know why. China brokered Saudi-Iran rapprochement. Turkey leveraged NATO. Russia is making dent into Iran, Syria through arms in intel. I'm shocked that why Indian diplomacy is just not doing it. And at least our honorable Prime Minister can speak. A tweet can do. But is this very much asking? If the opposition is asking for at least condolence of 3 Indians, Aditya, Shivanand, Patnala, they were Indians. They were killed internationally by US military. At least a condolence. Is this huge to ask? Please
Arushi
ask the
Sana.
BJP spokesperson.
Arushi.
You know, I think that there's a certain obsession with Prime Minister's, silence on certain topics. And from whatever I have seen in the last few years of his governance, it's often that when he's silent, he does work behind the scenes. The MEA was responsible for certain actions on this, and they have been giving statements, first of all. And second, I want to know what is this obsession of the opposition on always trying to claim that Pakistan is an effective mediator, because there's no clarity on what role has Pakistan even played in the mediation. What kind of mediation doesn't even involve all the countries involved in the conflict, because the Israeli National Security Minister Ben Gvir has clearly said that they are not party to this agreement. So what deal have you brokered without all the parties present? Most importantly, we are not dalals, right? India is a civilizational state, a major economy, a nuclear power, one of the world's largest markets. We don't need to survive by inserting ourselves into conflicts to earn geopolitical relevance. Our foreign policy has never relied on becoming somebody's broker. It's based on our own strategic autonomy. We take decisions based on Indian interests rather than the interests of any bloc or allyship. India buys oil from whoever it wants, trades with whom it wants, maintains relations with the US, Russia, Gulf, Israel, and Iran simultaneously, and doesn't want to become a part of any ally camp. So the fact that India is being even compared with Pakistan in this particular context is very flawed, because Pakistan has spent decades depending on foreign aid packages, IMF bailouts, external security arrangements to sustain its economy. So a country that repeatedly requires international financial rescue can't claim to be a model of diplomatic strength. Just being a broker does not mean that you're the greatest diplomatic country in the world.
You want to respond to that, Nivan Sharma? Why is this obsession with, linking what's happening with Pakistan and comparing that with India? There's no comparison here to be drawn at all, says Arushi Sana.
We don't want to compare at all. Who has supposed the world to compare? We have been saying
is comparing, no.
We have been saying that Pakistan is a terrorist nation. But you have given a chance, you have given a opportunity to Pakistan to tell the world that
nobody in the opposition
who's obsessed with Pakistan? Opposition is not obsessed. Forget about
nobody in the opposition has chosen to outright call them a terrorist nation.
No, but Nivan, hear me out. There are many leaders who have come and compared the fact that Shehbaz Sharif is coming out making such announcements to India's approach with the United States. There are several opposition leaders who've said as much.
You have given a platform to Pakistan to tell the world that it's a peacemaker country, it's a peaceful country. We are telling the world that it's a terrorist country. That's how it's affecting us.
How is India given that platform? Can you explain that? How is India giving that platform?
You might be saying that, but
forget
no,
about
one by one. Let's go one by one, please. No, Arush, just a second. I've asked a question to Nivan. Let him answer that. Yes.
Forget about optics. Forget about everything else. A strong foreign policy is only measured by one thing, and that is how well the government is protecting the dignity and safety and interest of its citizens. Today we are seeing that our sailors are dying, Indians are dying, anybody is mocking India, US is again and again insulting India, and Prime Minister fails to say a single word. And clearly he is unable to protect the dignity of the country. Resign.
Okay, Shainansi.
Resign.
One second. You made a point. Now let's get a response from Shiv Sena. Shainansi.
Just stay calm, sir. Look, the Prime Minister's actions speak louder than words. I don't think he needs to resort to Twitter to reply to the anxiety of certain people in the opposition that have only critiqued him despite all the good work he has done. India is at an all-time high, whether it's our diplomatic ties, whether it is even having a robust economy as an emerging superpower in the days to come. We all know what the World Bank report says. So, Madhav, I don't think we needs any brownie points or any kind of appreciation from just you and me. He's not looking out for that. He is here to do his job. And through diplomatic ties, yes, every Indian's life is at, whoever is at peril is a priority for the government, and they are working towards it. But to announce a breakthrough, there can be a strategic strategy too, right? You don't need to announce it on national television. If there is a team of our investigative agencies as well as our specialists who are keeping our country safe and secure, planning something to get them back, I don't think it needs to be announced to the world. World leaders are all united with Prime Minister Modi, are appreciating the proactive stand he has taken to ensure that peace and peace alone being a solution. How many other leaders have been sitting on the fence? Tell me. How many leaders have access
Nivan
to
and
every
Akash,
country
both want to
in
respond to you. Quick
contention
response,
to
Nivan,
have
please.
a dialogue here, there,
Quick
and
response.
everywhere?
Diplomacy doesn't work like this. There are things that happen behind the scenes as well. Your response to China?
Audacity, she's asking me to be calm. I cannot, the nation cannot be calm right now. Our people are getting killed. Our youngsters are sent back to our home handcuffed. We cannot be calm. A strong prime minister is not judged by how many hugs he gives to the world leaders. He's judged by how strongly he stands up when Indian citizens are harmed. What has happened to 56-inch chest? What has happened to his Vishwaguru image? He's just going abroad, listening to music, enjoying, and our people are getting killed. And we should be calm.
All right, Arushi. One by one, please. Arushi.
All I'm saying is that he is a prime minister of a very big population. I don't think he needs to constantly give statements before taking certain actions and certain steps. Diplomacy is a very delicate field in which you cannot constantly give rash statements to countries such as the US, which has a huge Indian diaspora. I'm sure that there are things that are happening behind the scenes which don't need to be always made public all the time. There is a certain accountability that comes with being a leader, but that does not mean that you're answerable to the opposition or to the citizens every single time before certain actions are being decided and are taken. When he decides to do something, it will be made public.
Let me take this across to Akashdeep Muni. Yeah. Akashdeep Muni. Akashdeep Muni, at the end of the day, yes, certainly, of course, in terms of statements, there's a lot of demands, a lot of expectations from the government. There's no denying the fact that this is outrageous, the manner in which sailors have been killed. But the point is that China NC was also making a short while ago. Give it some time. The government and diplomacy don't just work like this. Not everything that you see is what's exactly happening behind the scenes.
See, Madhavji, Shaina ji is from Shiva Sena. Bala Saheb Thackeray said once that एक भारतीय की जान सबसे ज्यादा कीमती होती है और तुम एक भारतीय को मारोगे तो हम 100 मारेंगे. ये मेरे शब्द नहीं है, उनके शब्द है. ठीक है. और आज शाइना जी शिवसेना से आज आके नरेंद्र मोदी जी के जस्टिफिकेशन दे रही है, जबकि 3 भारतीयों को यूएस मिलिट्री के द्वारा मार दिया गया. एक शब्द नहीं निकला सरकार के द्वारा. और यहाँ पे एक पॉलिटिकल एनालिस्ट उसको जस्टिफाई कर रहे हैं कि भाई ये बहुत बड़ा देश है, 2-4 लोग मर गए तो हम जस्टिफिकेशन थोड़ी देंगे. भाई प्रधान सेवक है वो.
No, Dr. Muni, let's be factual, please. She has not used those words. I think you're putting words in somebody else's mouth, and it's a fact that the government has clarified. They have summoned the diplomats at the US embassy, have they not?
No, why only summon? Why there is no public demands for apology from US? Why not recall of ambassador? Why no sanctions? Why no military posturing? While other countries are doing it, why we are waiting? Brazil and Chile have done it against US attacks.
Arushi.
Why we are not doing it?
Okay, Arushi Sana.
The statement that Akashdeep Muni is referring to, first of all, it was made in the context of Pakistan, the very country that both AAP spokesperson and Dr. Akashdeep are claiming they're claiming that this is a terrorist organization, but the parties that they are defending are in direct allyship with the Congress, which has always had a bad habit of praising the country, even when they have had no role in any mediation or have had no role in terms of, let's say, economic strength or diplomacy.
You want to respond to that?
So quoting Bala Saheb Thackeray here is not going to fix the problem if you constantly have a certain affection for a certain country. Mr. Sharma, you have a personal opinion.
Arushi ji, leave aside Pakistan. Aren't you concerned about the 3 Indians who were killed? Don't you want your Prime Minister to speak on that?
Okay.
Unfortunately, you don't seem to.
I am.
Okay. Since you took China NC's name.
I am concerned about it, but I have faith in my government.
Okay. I want to bring in China NC as well, since you specifically took her party's name and her name. Yeah, Shaina, your response.
Madhav, he referred to Hindu Hriday Samrat Adarniya Bala Saheb Thackeray. What did Bala Saheb Thackeray say? That you have to give a befitting answer, and that befitting answer the Prime Minister has given on multiple occasions. whether it's an Operation Sindoor, let's not forget Pathankot, Balakot, or even going into the terror hubs and killing all the perpetrators of crime, be it Mudrike or, we all know what happened there. We know how he went head on. So I don't think we need a certificate from the opposition. As far as the Ubata Sena is concerned, they chose lust for power over all these ideals that we're discussing by aligning with the Congress party, which has not been competent in handling terror. Today, if we look at the records, India is at an all-time low when it comes to terror sensitivity. In the sense, look at the decisions, whether it was abrogation of 370 or uncompromising ways for POK, or the fact that Jammu Kashmir are in the mainstream, and with the sensitivity that the Prime Minister has shown for all the borders, whether it is infiltrators or the Rohingyas who came from Bangladesh. So India doesn't need the certificate of this opposition who sees no good. And when it comes to diplomatic ties, look at the amount of public perception world over about India as a strong country only because of the strong leadership of Prime Minister Modi. So what is he talking about? What are they saying? Yes, hold your horses. I say be patient. Every life of every Indian across the globe is important. But doesn't mean that it's discussed, the strategies are discussed on national television. There are strategies in place, and believe in the systems.
All right. We'll have to leave it there. Nivan Sharma, Dr. Akashdeep Muni, Arushi Sana, as well as Shaina NC. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. But certainly, of course, not the last word yet as far as the politics surrounding this issue. And with that, it's a wrap. We're going to slip into a very quick break.